Cheers and hello and welcome to Katie's Arms. I've just realised I'm always sitting on a squeaky stool. And for some reason, this one's really squeaky as well, and it sounds like it is my hips. But welcome to Katie's Arms. I'm sorry we weren't here last week. The reason being, I think was, let's make up a reason. No, the reason was it was Platinum Jubilee, and I think I was just doing Platinum Jubilee stuff, and I assumed everyone else would be as well. So, but I had my bunting up, I had my union flag up, even though none of my neighbours did, miserable bastards. So, so that's what happened last week. But this week we're back and I'm thrilled to be here, and I've got loads of things to talk to you about. And I have exciting news. I think it's exciting, you might not. But I think it's exciting. So we have that news as well. And I have lots of stuff. My hair, thank you. I got fed up, other people will understand this, with my hair this morning because it was just being pathetic and I looked like some skanky old lady. And so I went downstairs to see lovely Mark, and I got the kitchen scissors out and told him to give it a little trim. Anyway, a bobbed hairstyle later, Mark was like, because he didn't realise just how much he was taking off. But, I don't have that much hair anyway. So now we have this hairstyle. So we can thank lovely Mark for this. Obviously, he has no hairdressing skills whatsoever. But, well, thank you for saying I have lovely hair. It was Mark, lovely Mark, and the kitchen scissors. And Mark was kind of mortified because he likes long hair and it's now short. But he was the one that cut it. So what can you say? What I can say is it cost me nothing. What I can also say, it was done in maybe 3 minutes, and that suits me just fine, because the thought of sitting in a hairdresser's chair for like if you have highlights done, that can be like, well, you'll know, ladies, that can be like 4 hours of your life. And I literally, when I'm having my highlights done, I want to kind of kill myself because it's so long, and you just sit there and you have to hairdressers are lovely, but you're like making conversation, and then I feel, I have to be nice to everyone because that's how I am, and then I want to be interested in them, and then, I'm trying to help anything that they've got. I want to try and fix it or make it better. So and it's like a whole thing. So this was perfect. Lovely Mark. Boom. Done. Happy. So thank you for saying, can you book him? This could be a new thing, right? This could be lovely Mark does hair. No, I'm not sure. I think he would say his skill set doesn't extend beyond, well, I mean, there isn't, see, look, what's that bit there? See, that's a good, anyway, who cares? Who cares? Don't like my hair? Couldn't give a shit, frankly. It's some hair, it's on my head loosely. Who cares? So, what a thing we're having. So many things. The time that we're living in is crazy. And we can feel it getting crazier and crazier. And I keep seeing things happening and you think, right, where's that leading, right? So this latest thing about Boris says the government is going to start using housing allowance and then have Help to Buy. But the housing allowance you can use as your mortgage payment, and then your mortgage will be paid for by your benefits. So that's a complete mind blow, because A, there's not enough housing anyway, because we keep letting every other bastard in our country and giving them everything. B, you're going to give right to buy to people who are being provided housing, so it will no longer be available for anyone else. And C, the government's going to fund it, but actually that's you and me, that's taxpayers, are going to buy the house for the person who's living in it, who will then own it, but they'll never have paid a dime, a cent, a dollar, a pound for it, because the taxpayer will have bought it for them, and presumably the taxpayer will still be responsible when something goes wrong. But somehow that housing will be removed from normal government stock and go into some other kind of government stock, which might become future government property. I don't know. But everything that goes on, right, you start to think, what's going on there, right? Same with the pumps. It's no accident, is it? That people are being priced out of being able to drive their own vehicles, because that's effectively what's happening. It doesn't matter if you call it price at the pumps or you go down into the weeds of talking about price per litre or 5p off a litre. The reality is, big, stand back a little bit, ordinary people like us are being priced out of using their car. And in fact, what will already be happening, and people won't realise it because they won't stop to think about it, because it just happens and it just kind of sweeps into your life without you knowing. But now when people are looking to take a car journey, they're thinking, and you'll know this because this will be you'll be thinking, oh, should I use my car for that? Oh, do I need to take my car? Oh, could I maybe not take the car for that? So it isn't about price at the pump. It's about changing behaviour so that every time someone goes to use a car, they're thinking, do I need to do that journey? Maybe I could wait, or I'll wait and go next week instead. And so all of a sudden, things you would have always done normally, jumped in the car, gone to Blur, jumped in the car, gone to Blur. Suddenly you're not doing that. So that behaviour shift has already been put in place just by changing the pricing structure at the pump, right? And people are so fixated on what's the price per litre, what's the price per litre, blah, 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 blah. They don't see, oh, strange, behaviour shift gone on. We didn't even, so much like COVID. Normal living, COVID. Oh, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. Behaviour shift without people even seeing it, because they're focusing on, oh, where's my mask? Where's my mask? Should I clap at the sky? Should I clap at the sky? Oh, so-and-so's got COVID. Oh, must get a test. And they don't see this sort of subtle, creeping behavioural shift that's going on around us. So I see that the madness is with us, but I remain positive and confident and uplifted because our side is just better. So they can try all this shit and they're going to get it through. But at some point, there will be a crack. There will be a point where people go, wait a minute, we need to be doing something at least. So that moment, I believe, will come. But for now, people aren't seeing the real mechanics of what's going on. They're not seeing its behavioural change that's being put in. They're just thinking about how much will it cost to fill up the car and why they shouldn't take their car. They're not thinking, I'm being changed and I'm being reprogrammed. So all that's going on. On much brighter news, Blackpool went on, and thank you to everybody. What's our side? That's a brilliant question, thank you. And I talk about this often, and I always try to make sure I explain, so I'm grateful. Our side has nothing to do with politics. This is my opinion. Politics or religion or your sexuality or even whatever gender you want to believe you are today. It's perfect by me. If you tell me you today are a hot dog sausage, I'm happy with that. I will respect the fact that you are a hot dog sausage and that's what you believe. However, I got to ask that you don't demand that I believe it as well, right? So basically, you can be whatever you want to be, as long as you don't ask me to pay for it or agree with you that what you say is right. I can think what I think, you think what you think, perfect. So our side, in my interpretation, is the side that just wants the best for each other. And that was the glorious thing about Blackpool and doing the weekend of stand-up in Blackpool, is that was very clear from the offset, is welcome one and all. And everybody's little shoulders went down, everyone's little chins were up, everyone could fully breathe in, which if any of you could fully breathe in, like we forget to breathe in. I know I bang on about it all the time, but we honestly go around life like that. And if some of you have had maybe like a death in the family or some catastrophic situation, or had to rush to A&E, or had a phone call that says, oh, your aunt is this, you do this kind of breathing, right? That's happening more and more often in everyone's lives. So being able to stop and just go, okay, I need to remember to do that. So Blackpool was like that. It was a room of people who could breathe again. And we agreed, I think, at the front end, or notionally nodded at the fact that our side just wants everyone to be all right. And if you need something and I have it, I'll try and give it to you. If you fall over, I'll try and pick you up. If you lose something and I find it, I'm going to hand it in. Like that to me is our side. And it has nothing to do with whatever choice you want to make. I'm all here for it. I love it. As long as it doesn't, force me to change what I'm doing because of you. So a little bit, please do, Joey Deacon. This happens every Katie's Arms. We're not allowed to do Joey Deacon. Because it's really bad. And after Blackpool, I just wanted to bring 2 of these. Everybody was so sweet. People came with gifts, and we did a thing after where we could all get together and have little hugs, which was my favourite thing. And people left me lovely cards. If this is you, thank you. Just saying thank you, and just saying, like, look, it's so kind, just saying sweet things, and, recognising that we get through all of this stuff together. And so this was just a couple of the cards, and I just wanted to say thank you. And I've tried to email everybody personally, and if I've missed you out so far, I'm trying to get to it. So thank you. The gifts everybody brought were amazing. So people brought lots of red wine, which was unexpected and so kind, and I would never have thought people would do that, but people brought me Barefoot Merlot, which was brilliant. So, oh my God, talk about caliper lady. I'm also really excited by, hold on, these other gifts. Obviously, I'm a little known for my earring choice, which can be just a way of me showing that I am not a boring old bastard, and to try and get COVID people to stay away from me because I look mad. But look what else I got. So I think we're going to have to save these for a special occasion. Look. Yes. Thank you so much for my nipple tassels. I have a variety of these now. I'm quite excited by these ones. So I think this is going to work, mostly because A, my boobs are so small, and B, I don't think actually, you know what, they stick on with, I think they're like just, hold on, let me just feel. Yeah, oh, they're very sticky. So what I'm actually thinking is, I'll be able to so if we do a Katie's Arms live with these on, we'll have to think of an occasion, darling. That just might be that I've drunk 3 bottles of wine. So we'll do a Katie's Arms in just nipple tassels, but I'm thinking, actually, they're very sticky indeed. So I'm thinking that actually they'll remove my nipple hairs, which will be tremendous. So not only will be moderately titivating for anyone over the age of 108, but it will be also like a waxing. So we'll have to think of a reason why. Maybe we'll do it when we're celebrating X 100,000 followers. We're nearly at 300,000, which is also exciting, given that Instagram is shadow banning my account and won't let anybody follow me or find me. So do tell your mates, to come and follow me, even if they hate my guts, just to piss off Instagram, who doesn't want people to follow me and doesn't want me to increase my follower numbers. So, and then we will, let's think of a target for the nipple tassels. I feel like it should be 500,000, but maybe we'll do 400,000 because I quite like to wear them. Okay, that. The other thing, lovely Mark has been busy, and look, not only has been hairdressing, but look. So, hold on, here's a copy. So at Blackpool and for subsequent shows in Wales and in Blackpool on the 20th of September. And then amazingly, Blackpool have asked me to go back in 2023 and do a one-woman show. So that's the big, slightly the big news, is that's the plan for 2023. I want to do it this year, but I have to find theatres that will have me. If you know a local theatre that will have me, please get in touch. katie@katiehopkins.co.uk. But Blackpool have asked me back to do a one-woman show in 2023. So that's big news. The other thing we had at Blackpool was this, that lovely Mark put together. So it's and I'm not trying to be, we know, answer our questions, please. Okay, look, it's 1:15. So at 20 past, I promise to do questions because I know I'm really annoying about just talking my arse off and not listening. Oh, Rishi Sunak was in Honiton today, the next town up from me. And I never saw him. But I went in to see the lady in the store where I buy things, and I asked her, and she doesn't know either, because I have heard Rishi Sunak is tiny, like midget. But I've heard that he's like midget with weird, you know those people who are midgets? Are you allowed to say midget? Joey Teagan. You know those people who are really short but have really big heads? And like height-wise, it kind of compensates because their head's massive. But in real life, it's weird because like their head is half of their body. I've heard that's what Rishi Sunak's like, and he's not actually very good looking because he's weirdly distorted and he gets away with it. If you watch, he's always sitting down. So keep your eyes on Rishi Sunak. The inside intel is he's a dwarf with an exceptionally large head. I'm just saying. Yes, we had them for a Blackpool. Lovely Mark did them. So he made the cover better. He made them hardback. I buggered my knuckle, don't ask. And what else can I tell you? Oh yes, and I wrote a special letter in there called Dear Lovelies in the introduction. And it's like a letter just privately to all of you guys who've been like absolute troopers, and many of you have been with me for 15 years or so through all of it. So there's a letter written in there. So what Lovely Mark has done, which I just love, is he has managed to get this online for you to, if you wanted one, and you don't obviously need to get one, but we sold them for a tenner at the shows because we were there. But he's done them for, so cost 10 plus 5, so they're £15 online. And he's managed to get them so that you can do a request for them to be personalised. And it's katiesarms.com for as long as this stays up. So KATIESARMS, Katie's Arms. Yes, you're all like, yes, thank you, Katie. We can spell that ourselves. katiesarms.com. And if you go there, you will find the website's not flash and it's not fancy. All we were trying to do was get it so that we could get this into people's hands, but personalised from me. So the thought is, if you want one of these for your father, particularly if your father hates me, but somebody that needs help, actually, for someone who's struggling or in trouble or has just been diagnosed with chuffing cancer, these are a win because you'll laugh, and it talks about a lot of that stuff and stuff I went through. It basically is a laugh at me. Anyway, you can go to katiesarms.com. You can buy one of these. You can write in how you want it personalised, and we will send it out. And Lovely Mark said that because Father's Day is coming up, when you order it, it's second class post that's in there, but he said he will put it in first class post. Anybody that orders by Tuesday, so that's Tuesday the 14th, we'll pay for it to go first class so that your dad will get it. And like I say, it's not trying to flog anything. It's just, I don't know, it's just trying to spread some cheer, and this is cheer. And I want people, if you wanted to get one and you want to get it signed and personalised, or me to write you something fun in it, and you can just say, write me something outrageous, or take the piss out of my dad and he's fat and old. Whatever, I can do it. But we can get these to you now, thanks to Lovely Mark. So that's katiesarms.com. If you struggle, let me know. If you want one, let me know. And we'll also bring them to the shows, and I'm sure I'll write another book at some point. Right, that's what I wanted to say. Can I also mention, 2 minutes, and then I promise to do questions. Can I just mention, I need to do something on teenagers this week, because it seems like a lot of us have teenagers that we fucking hate at the moment, living at home, and no one's allowed to say it, because you just have to like pretend that you love your kids all the time, but that's not true. You know, teenagers are actually, little slide fallout issue with my short hair. Teenagers are actually arseholes in every sense of the word. So we need to do some stuff about that. I also bloody hate traffic police. I'm so pissed off seeing traffic police lurking to try and catch people when they're going on their hollybobs or whatever. And they wait. The next time I see this, I am stopping my car and I'm going to go to the traffic police, and I'm going to have my say. Because if you're the sort of person who waits at the bottom of a steep hill on the way to Cornwall or somewhere, some random place that some poor bastard family who probably haven't got much cash are waiting, you're waiting there at the bottom of a hill to try and catch people and fine them for speeding. I'm bloody going to have you. I am. Because I saw one the other day and we were busy zooming off and we were already late, so we had to keep going. But I am going to go up to them and ask, where is your moral fibre. Like, who made you? Who made you think it's okay to find British families going on holiday to Cornwall? They haven't gone to bloody, Barbados. This is Normalville. And you want to piss on their chips on their way to their holiday. I'm done with police in this country, largely, not all. And I'm done with people crucifying ordinary people. So the next time, I warn you, if you know a traffic cop, I bloody am going to go up to them and say, you need to look in the mirror and ask yourself, is this what I wanted to do with my life? Is this what I dreamed of being when I grew up? I wanted to be a shitty little person who sits in a shitty little sticky van, holding up some kind of Joey Deacon toy to penalise drivers. Because frankly, you can piss right off. Okay. Questions. I appreciate your honesty. I feel bad for people who are scared of it. I know. And that was the truth for so long, wasn't it? Was that we aren't used to hearing people say stuff that we're like, even if we completely disagree, we're like, oh. But people struggled with the idea of this and then struggled with the idea of, oh, she wants us to believe it as well. No. And it kind of, that's when people start a sentence with, I don't always agree with you. And I'm like, please show me the freaking clip where I say, I demand everyone agrees with me. Because shit me, oh yes, questions. I never said that in my whole life. I just told you what I thought. And we used to, people that we know, or celebrities or whatever people call people that people know, being like, but I'm not like that, and so bollocks to it. Okay, questions. Yeah, jokes aside, fines for traffic offences. Exactly. Bloody rich bastards get away with it every time. Nancy Pelosi's husband. Do I still talk to Milo? Do you know, I haven't talked to Milo in the longest time. I lived with Milo for a bit in the Laura Loomer campaign house when we were supporting her last campaign, and I've just been out to support her most recent one. And I haven't caught up with him in a long time, and not since he came out as transitioning to straight, which kind of blew my mind. But I really would like to sit down with Milo and chat. And I have said to someone, in fact, quite recently, that I should email him, and I should. In fact, I should text him and ask to chitty chat. How do I buy your bloody wonderful book? That wasn't lovely, Mark. Just, if you think I stitched that up, I didn't. You just go online. This one, there's an Amazon one, which is paperback and cheaper. But Amazon basically take all the money, and fuck Amazon. So this is just lovely, Mark set up, katiesarms.com. You just go there. And if you squiggle around a bit, you'll find the book. You go online and you can click and you can buy it with Apple Pay or PayPal or anything. But most importantly, write what you want me to write in it, or at least an idea of it. Or just tell me about the person. Because if you tell me a little bit about them, I'll know what the message should be. Tell me something they're going through, or something they've been through, or something you're worried about for them, or something that's fantastic about them, or what sort of dog they've got, or what sort of underwear they wear. And I will personalise the book for you. And how do I deal with the vaccine fanatics? You know, that's one of the reasons for this whole thing, right, is it's a way of demonstrating as I walk through airports without anything on, not as in clothes, nipple tassels, without, when it was the mask era, walking around without it, showing that you are clearly not scared of stuff. That was part of it. The other way of dealing with the vaccine freaks was just to let them carry on, really, and just nod and smile, because you were never, this was the thing that many of us realised, was that we were never going to change their minds in the same way that they were never going to change ours. And when people kept banging on about, oh, I've tried rationing with them, I've tried reasoning, I've tried telling them, I've told them if you catch it once, you can't catch it was, I would nod along to that as well, because it was so clear we were never going to change their minds. So we had to just work out a way of working around each other, didn't we? And that was the glorious thing about our side, was that we found a way of really getting together, like when we worked together to overturn the government's bullshit that nurses had to be vaccinated. 100,000 nurses, threatened with being fired. When we worked together and got that overturned, that was the most brilliant thing. And I think that's the other lovely thing, is Platinum Jubilee was a good example. Our side, people who don't mind what anyone wants to think, we're having a lovely time. everybody, the sort of nasty Twitter thing was all about how everything was terrible and everything was horrible and aren't the royal family and it was all nastiness. And our side were just busy having a glass of wine and having a nice time with a cucumber sandwich, whether they gave a shit about the royals or not. Get in there, Katie. Do you disagree with much of Jeremy Corbyn's policies? You know, I think increasingly we find, don't we, that politics, we were always told that it was this straight line, right? You have the far left and you have the far right and then the centrist, Tony Blair and blah, blah, blah. But as with France, we learned that actually politics is much more of a circle. And what can happen in many things is people on the, what we might call far left or just kind of very libertarian, meet up with people like me. So Russell Brand historically stormed my radio studio to tell me I was a witch. But now Russell Brand and I say the same stuff, right? I mean, he does it with a bit more tattoos and longer hair, and he still has the lefties with him, but him and I are talking the same stuff. I'd love to, you know, sit with Russell Brand now because we've ended up more or less in the same place, which is the circular thing. So there are elements probably. I mean, I think Jeremy Corbyn himself, being a friend of the IRA, I mean, I would always want to piss on his head for that. But I've met him and he was perfectly lovely and gave me a hug. So, you know, do I think Bojo should go? I found out today my parents bloody shook hands with Bojo at the Royal Cornwall show. But my parents are the most normal people on the planet Earth. I don't know what they do with Bojo. I really don't know. I think he's been a complete bullshitter, moron, dickhead. However, I can't say that unless I could say, and here's who should replace him. And actually the one person for me is Charles Walker, who is lovely. He's always been consistently great. He opposed lockdowns. He thought lockdowns were draconian. He supports the right of people to protest things. He's always incredibly reasonable. I'm suspicious because he's a long-term politician and it seems like all politicians are dickheads, but that would be my man for the job. And if I could switch those two out, Boris for Charles, tomorrow I think Boris should go because of lockdowns. But you see, unless you can find someone who was anti-lockdowns, you're just talking out of your arse, aren't you? Charles Walker, yes. So that would be if I could tomorrow wake up and we have Charles Walker in and Boris out, and also if I could just stand there doing this to carry his wife and also shouting out, Boris, you twat, I don't believe you nearly died. I'd like to shout that out as well. I mean, I think they're all despicable, but I think Boris, I think we were stitched up. I never believed that he was in, you know, intensive care. I know some stuff about intensive care, and he was never there and never on death row or on his deathbed. I think lying about nearly dying is something that girlfriends do when they're trying to get their boyfriend back. Like I once had a girlfriend, pretended she had cancer to try and get her boyfriend to go back out with her. Shouldn't laugh. But I'm just thinking, that's terrible, isn't it? My mum went to Florida to get out of Massachusetts. Exactly. Running away to Florida is what everybody's doing. And I think Florida should have a rule that if you move to Florida, you're not allowed to be blue. So you're not allowed to run to Florida and take the bullshit policies of the state that you're running away from with you. I'm sure your mum didn't do that. But for example, if you are Californian and you're going to run to Florida, you've got to leave your Democrat bullshit behind, right? How many press-ups can I do? Oh, quite a lot now. But that's because I do them a lot. I can do quite a lot of pull-ups as well. But I don't. I'm not in a rush to show those off to anyone. I'm doing it mostly out of fear, aren't I? Because as you get older, you're like, shit, my face is now around my arse. I've got nipple hair. I've got a varicose vein. I'm definitely growing a moustache. Like I can feel it there. So what can I do? I know. Let's do push-ups. So it's actually just fear, and the need to show people I will not be told what to do. So it's actually just me being a desperate old hag. Why does everyone hate me? Because in a time when in a time as people have been wanting to be shielded by the mob and be one of the group, I didn't ever do that. And I said things I thought and still think, and things that are still true now, but they're things that I never talked about, and that's why I had to be fired from everything. You're not allowed to say that the problem in this country is that we have too many people. You're not allowed to say that this will be one of the last Conservative governments because soon we're outnumbered. You're not allowed to say that by 2030 white Christian Brits are a minority. You're not allowed to say any of that stuff. And so because I did, I had to become a villain in order that I could be discredited, and therefore people had to hate me. And it worked very successfully. And being a monster means you don't have to listen to what the monster has to say. And that's why it's tricky for people when they meet me and then they realise I really want them to be okay and I would pretty much do anything for anyone. And that's really tricky because it's easier to believe someone's a monster so you don't have to listen to them. But if it turns out they're just like you and they want the best for you and they'd give you anything, then it's like, shit, so she's not a monster. Maybe what she's saying was true. So the media need you to be a villain. And they did that very successfully. I think also people didn't like the fact that I was doing real well. Because that's weird, isn't it? In Britain, people tend to be unkind maybe if you're seen as doing, like if you've got a column in a radio show and all the rest of it, the inclination of anyone who doesn't have those things that wants them is to take you down to make themselves feel better, which is pretty silly because that shouldn't be how things work. Do you think Biden will lose? Yes, in 2024, absolutely. I think he will lose his ability to not shit himself before then anyway. I certainly think they'll need another candidate. And I believe, given the state of America at the moment, the only candidate who will win for the Democrats is Michelle Obama. And if she runs, we're bollocksed because she'll win it. I'm hoping she doesn't want to run. But that's the only candidate that will pull it off for the Democrats. They definitely can't have Biden. Or if they do run Kamala, because that'll be a joke. I'm the best. Please be a member of Parliament. Yes. So a lot of people say this to me. And so, Katie, when are you going to do something about it? And that is a challenge that I don't have the answer for, other than to tell you that at the moment, the way I do something about it is to keep on keeping on, relentlessly talking the truths of our side so that we know we're not on our own. And that's actually why doing the stand-up shows or being in theatres is so important to me. Not at all. I don't even give a shit about being on the stage. But that room of people, and after the shows, to stand up or at the interval, watching people stand up and just cuddle people in the row behind them, cross over to speak to this guy, applaud the service personnel there. It's like a moment, a room full of just the bubble of how you wish life was. That's why I want to do stand-up shows around the UK. Right, I must go and leave you, hadn't I? Because it's past and I really try not to drag on. So I will stop banging on. I will love you and leave you. We will set a target for the nipple tassels. And we will do it. It will be tragic. And we'll do some warnings. So like, don't eat before. Hopkins in nipple tassels. If you do want to get one of these for your dad or someone who's struggling or someone who's just been diagnosed with breast cancer and is pissed off, this is a good way of passing time in a manky hospital if you manage to get an appointment. So katiesarms.com, and it's all on there. Any troubles, Katie at Katie Hopkins, and I'll try and help you. And lovely Mark says he'll pay for the first class upgrade to get these to you. Good one, lovely Mark. Not only is he a hairdresser, he's going to pay for your postage. Good, and I think that's it. So thank you for all the kindness. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for so many people being part of Katie's Arms. And I think it's a really great thing we're building. And I'm excited for it. And I guess it will become part of the stand-up tour that we are going to make happen. So love you lots. And my girlfriend says I can only leave her for Katie or Candace Owens. Have I got smaller boobs than Candace? I don't know. Candace is younger than me though, so there's that. But then I'm British, so I'm way funnier. Okay, much love to everybody. Have a great evening and keep drinking. Remember that you are sane and it's the rest of the world that are fucking off their minds. Joey Deacon. Okay, bye.